In these next problems, we're going to be looking at different kinds of quadrilaterals. So I thought we'd start with a tour through the quadrilateral family tree. So at the top here, the one that kind of gives birth to them all, is just your general old quadrilateral. And all that means is it's a polygon that's got 4 sides. Now, it breaks off into 3 main categories. You have kites, and kites have 2 sets of consecutive sides that are the same length. So consecutive sides are sides that are next to each other. So this side and this side are the same length, and then this side and this side are the same length. That's what makes a kite. A parallelogram, on the other hand, what defines it is that it has 2 sets of parallel sides. And then a trapezoid has 1 set of parallel sides and 1 set that's not parallel. Now, a kind of a combination of a kite and a parallelogram is a rhombus. It's kind of like a kite because it has consecutive sides, 2 sets of consecutive sides that are the same length, but it also has 2 sides, pairs of sides that are parallel. So it's really both a parallelogram and a kite. A rectangle is really a type of parallelogram because it still has 2 sets of sides that are parallel to each other. They just also happen to have 4 right angles, and that's what defines a rectangle. And then a square is really both a rhombus and a rectangle. It's got 4 right angles. It's got the 2 sets of sides that are parallel to each other, so it's a parallelogram. And it's also got consecutive sides that are the same length, and those 4 sides parallel to each other. Or, sorry, 2 sets of sides parallel to each other. So a square is really a rhombus and a rectangle and a parallelogram. So that's a little tour through the family tree. We might have to refer back to it as we work on these problems. Let's see if we can find the right answers here for a few of these. This first one says, which quadrilateral's definition states that it has 4 right angles? And we just talked about that one. And actually, it's in the word itself. We have angle and rect. Rect means right. And so the 4 right angle quadrilateral is the rectangle. This next one says, which statement is true? Every rectangle is a square. And, you know, if you look at the chart again, every rectangle is a parallelogram, so you're going in the up direction to get that kind of inheritance. Every square is a rectangle, but every rectangle is not a square. So that's out. Every rhombus is a rectangle. Well, on the chart here, they're not in that sort of, they're not even connected by a line, so they're not the same thing at all. So you can't say that. C, every parallelogram is a rectangle. And again, we're going in the wrong direction. From parallelogram to rectangle, you go down, and you want to be going up for this kind of relationship. And then finally, every rectangle is a parallelogram. And that's the right one, because rectangles fit under parallelograms. So a rectangle is a type of parallelogram. So D is our correct answer there. And one more. Select the geometric figure that possesses all of the following characteristics. It's a polygon, it's a quadrilateral, and 2 and only 2 sides are parallel. And I think I actually forgot to mention one of the quadrilaterals up here, which was the isosceles trapezoid. The trapezoid is the quadrilateral that has just 1 pair of sides that are parallel and the other 2 aren't. An isosceles trapezoid is a trapezoid where those 2 non-parallel sides are the same length. In this case, the answer we're looking for is a trapezoid. That's the quadrilateral that has 2 and only 2 parallel sides. So that is a little bit of work with quadrilaterals.